Hare Krishna. So, welcome to Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, 6th Canto, 16th chapter. King Citraketu meets the Supreme Lord. So, we'll be discussing from verse number 3 today. So, 1 minute, let me share the verse also. Okay, 1 minute. Prabhuji, you would like to? Yeah, we'll first
Yeah,
sing the
I
Mangalacharan.
will.
Mangalacharan prayers we'll sing.
Okay.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudire Ashtaprayasha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनि नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयति गिरिमित्प्रातं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दिनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. So, verse number, this is King chapter entitled King Chitraketu Maharaj meets the Supreme Lord. So first 11 verses actually are discussing about how the Jivatma, so King Chitraketu's son died because of the poisoning of the queen, and the Maharaj, Chitraketu Maharaj was very much lamenting for his dead son. So here Narada Muni brings back the dead son into life back. And then once he came back to life, the Jivatma, the son of Chitraketu Maharaj, he is speaking to Chitraketu. So that is the first 11 verses. We are in the third verse today. And then actually, there are total 65 verses here, this chapter, in this 16th chapter. Then next will be the 12 to 17, that is child's funeral rites and the queen's atonement. So now we will see Jivatma speaks to Chitraketu, means it will be more philosophical, like how is the temporary nature of this world. Nobody is our father or mother because innumerable births, we are different father, different mothers. So like that, we will have the reality of the child will be explaining, the Jivatma will be explaining the impermanent nature of this material world. So let us go into today's verse. We'll recite this verse. Kalevaram swam avishya sheshamayusudvrutah Vangshva Bhogan Pratan Adistishta Nrupashanam Kalevaram Sam Avishya Seshamayusu Prataha Vangshva Bhogan Pratan Adistishta Nrupashanam Kalevaram Sam Avishya Seshamayusu Prataha Vangshva Bhogan Pratan Aditish, Aditishta Nirpasanam. So translation and purport, no purport, actually only translation. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: because you died untimely, the balance of your lifetime still remains. Therefore, you may re-enter your body and enjoy the remainder of your life, surrounded by your friends and relatives. Accept the royal throne and all the affluences given by your father. So this is basically Narada Muni is giving instruction, like blessing the child, that because you died untimely, the balance of your lifetime still remains. Therefore, you may re-enter your body and enjoy the remainder of your life. surrounded by your friends and relatives. Accept the royal throne and all the affluences given by your father. This is about King Chitraketu's son. Now we'll go to the verse number 4. So Prabhu want to read? Prabhuji or Mataji, anybody? Now
Yes,
the
I
Jivatma
will read.
starts speaking. Jiva Uvacha. Yeah, please.
जीवोवाच तस्मिन् जन्मनि अमिमह्यं पितरो मातारो अभवन् कर्माभिर्ब्रह्मयामान ब्रह्म ब्रह्ममानस्य देवतुर्यान् नृणो जीवोवाच तस्मिन् जन्मनि अमिमह्यं पितरो मातरो अभवान् कर्माभिर् ब्रह्म्यामानस्य देवतिर्यान्नर योनिषु. Translation. What you know, okay. Translation. By the mystic power of by mystic power of the Naradamuni, the living entity re-entered his dead body for a short time and spoke in reply to Naradamuni's request. He said, according to the result of my fruitive activities, I, a living being, transmigrate from one body to another, sometimes going to the species of demigods, sometimes to the species of lower and male, sometimes among the vegetables, sometimes to the human feast. Therefore, in which birth, where is my mother and father? No one is actually my father, my mother and father. How can I accept these two people as my parents? Purport. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Here it is made clear that the living being enters a material body that is like a machine created by the five gross elements of material nature: earth, water, fire, air, and sky. The three subtle elements, mind, intelligence, and false ego. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, there are two separate identities called the inferior and superior nature, which both belongs to the Supreme Personality Godhead. According to the result of living entity fruitive action, he is forced to enter into the material elements in different types of bodies. This time, the living entity was supposed to have the son of Maharaj Citraketu and Queen Kridayuti because, according to the laws of nature, he had entered a body made by the king and queen. Actually, however, he was not their son. The living entity is the son of Supreme Personality Godhead, and because he wants to enjoy this material world, Supreme Lord gives him a chance to enter various bodies. The living entity has wait, one little more. Okay. He is the part, and the living entity has no true relationship with the material body he gets from his material father and mother. He is part and parts of the Supreme Lord, but he is allowed to go through the different bodies. The body created by the so-called father and mother actually has nothing to do with the so-called creators. Therefore, the living entity flatly denied Maharaj Citraketu and his wife were his father and mother. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. So here we can see by the mystic power of Narada Muni, the living entity re-entered his dead body for a short time and spoke reply to Narada Muni's request. Because here Narada Muni is saying that please see your parents are here, your relatives are there, your kingdom is here, so you can enjoy all those things like that. Narada Muni is requesting, and by his mystic power, he is bringing back the Jivatma into the body again. So normally, if you hear Srila Prabhupada lectures, many times Prabhupada emphasizes in his lecture that once a person is dying, is dead, any amount of scientific progress, he's saying, Prabhupada says that you make some scientific invention that after this making the scientific invention, you inject into the body whatever you have invented, and the body should come to life again after death. That is not possible, like that Prabhupada is saying. Because materially, if somebody dies, there is no history in the record that the person has come back to life. Of course, there are a different category called near-death experience. Near-death experience means a person has not died, but he has gone up to the edge of the death. In the hospital, sometime in the ICU, you can see the person has gone up to the coma stage, or sometimes like that. That is called near death. Not death actually, it's near death. So that people, they will come back many times. They will be like for many 2 days, 3 days, they will be like motionless. Then after third day, they will come back. That is different. But this after death, once a person is declared as dead, no way you can bring that person back to life. That is in the material world. The Jagatsachi Prabhu also said in Kali Yuga, two things you can never manipulate. Everything will be manipulated by the development of technology. In future, we can see now we have come to the stage of artificial intelligence where it is doing so many activities by AI technology. So in future there will be much more development than AI also. But he said two things cannot be manipulated by science and technology. One is birth and one is death. Hmm? By death you can never stop anytime. So once a person is declared dead clinically, then he cannot be revived back to life. That is not possible. There is no medicine for that, and they cannot invent any medicine for that. So that's what Prabhupada is saying. That is never possible. But spiritually, it is possible. That's why he is saying by the mystic power of Narada Muni. Spiritual people, they can, like even if Jesus Christ, we see after 3 days, he rose back again to life. Okay, that's what I think they celebrate as Easter or something. After he was crucified, he died. After 3 days, he came back. Like that, if you see spiritual personalities, many people come back to life, or many people enter into samadhi when they are in life. Like when they are in life, they will call their disciples until now erect one like Raghavendra Swami. He called all his disciples and told, okay, now you can erect a tomb around me, because I am going to enter into samadhi. So they will enter, close their eyes, and they will build a samadhi and they will live their life like that. So mystically it is possible, or spiritually it is possible to bring back life, or when you are living, you can take your life consciously outside the body. Both is possible. So here, like that, Narada Muni, by mystical potency, by his power, he is able to bring the Jivatma back into the dead body, which is materially not possible for a short time. And once he brought the Jivatma, which is Citraketu Maharaj's son, that Jivatma started speaking. Here you see the Jivatma, even Citraketu Maharaj's son's name is not there. Jiva Uvacha means like Bhagavan Uvacha. Here it is Jiva Uvacha. That means Jivatma is speaking his real position. So because when you tell the person, king or anybody is speaking, they speak with, with their bodily consciousness. If they write the child name and tell Uvacha means he is speaking with the bodily consciousness. Here Jiva Uvacha means he is speaking in the spiritual consciousness without any influence of any material energy, Maya. That's why here Jiva Uvacha. He said what the Jivatma is speaking. This is the truth. Jivatma is speaking according to the result of my fruitive activity. So we are doing so much karma here. So the karma, sometimes we do punya, sometimes we do papa, and this all getting accumulated. Like if you go to any warehouse, in a shop is there, now shop is like our body. And warehouse, there is so much stock is there. That is called stored karma, sanchita karma. Sanchita karma means stored karma, which is not yet delivered. It is in the warehouse, it is in the stock. Prarabdha karma means which we are actually now experiencing, prarabdha karma. No? So like that, there are various karmas are there. Sanchita karma, prarabdha karma, like that. So stored karma is called sanchita karma. So according to that stored karma, according to the results of my fruity activities, I, the Jivatma is saying, the living being, is transmigrating from one body to another. So the Jivatma is changing. So this is the basic foundation of Bhagavad Gita, that we are always changing the body. Same like from childhood body to we become adulthood now. Like that, at the time of death, we change another body. So what kind of bodies we change? Sometimes we can go to the body of demigods. That's why demigods specifically it is not told to worship, because demigods are also Jivatma. They are also like us, because they did lot of pious activities. They are promoted to higher grade of lives. And somebody do so much papa, he is degraded to lower forms of life. So sometimes the Jivatma takes the body of a demigod. Sometimes it takes the species of lower animals. Sometimes among the vegetables also. Like suppose we are taking so many vegetables, right? The plant life. The plant is also having a life. Like we say tomato plant or potato. It is all having life. Because there is life only, you get flowers, fruits, vegetables. So that also is a jivat. So sometimes among the vegetables and sometimes among the human beings also. So human being is very, very special, because in human species only we can develop our Krishna consciousness. Therefore, in which birth there were these my mother and father. So if you are in taking any birth, naturally you will have father and mother. For animals also they have father, mother. So these are the Jivatma asking in which birth actually Chitraketu Maharaj and they were my father and mother. Because I have taken so many lifetimes. Which life are you referring now? No one is actually my father and mother. Mother and father. This is philosophy, materially, people are very much attached, with father and mother, parents. The child is attached to the parent is attached to the child. Naturally, that is material affection. But spiritual understanding, the reality is we had innumerable parents. Hmm. We were also parents one time, and we had also innumerable parents in many, many lifetimes. So it's only a temporary time. Even though we have parents and we are also parents, why it is said it is not real means because it is temporary for a time period, maybe for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, we are parents. After that, we become child. Then somebody else become our parent. Then we become parent for another 40, 50 years. Because of the temporary nature, nobody can claim as a real father or mother. Only the Supreme Lord is the actual father and mother. Hmm? Krishna also tells in Bhagavad Gita, Pitaham Jagato, he's saying, I am the Mata, Pita, like that he's saying in one verse, like I am the father, grandfather, everybody. Sarva Yoneshu Gontaya, Aham Bija Prajapata, I am the seed being father of all living entities. So no one is actually a mother and father. So material people, if they read this verse, they may get shocked, how they are saying like this, the scripture. When we are the parents, how they are saying no one is actually my father. This is spiritual understanding. How can I accept these two people as my parents? So this is what the Jivatma is speaking, and Prabhupada is giving the purport with reference to Bhagavad Gita. Here it is made clear that living being enters a material body that are like a machine created by five gross elements of material nature. Same way like a car is there, our body is like a car. And as soon as the driver enters, the car starts moving. Like that, the Jivatma enters into the machine called body. This body is like a machine, and the doctors are actually trained to treat this machine. Like when there's liver will go, like in car, engine goes, then we go to a mechanic, the engine is fixed, radiator will go, sometimes the cooling system will go. So like that, our body also is like a machine which is having heart, liver, kidney, everything is there, bone. So there are specialist doctors, like same like car mechanics, we can say same like to treat our body. There are doctors specialized in the subject for eye, nose, throat, heart, specialists like that. So this machine, actually the body is called a machine, yantra. And the yantra machine is used by the Jivatma called soul, the driver. Created by, and this yantra is made of five gross elements of material nature, which is Bhumi, Apo, Nalo, Vayu. Means earth, water, fire, Panchabhutas, five elements. Earth, water, fire, air, and sky. Hmm. And three subtle elements are there. That subtle means it is there, but we cannot see by the physical eyes. See, these are actually mind, intelligence, and ego. So this total material body, which is compared to a machine, is actually like a car is made of, tin, steel, rubber for the tires like that. Here, this our body is made of these eight elements: earth, water, fire, air, sky. This is gross, physically visible, and subtle elements like mind, intelligence, and ego. This is like a these five elements can be compared to hardware, and these three elements can be compared to software. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, in the seventh chapter, Krishna is saying that Krishna is having innumerable energies, but these energies are categorized into broad categories, two broad categories: the inferior and the superior energy of the Lord. Okay, Shaktiman, God, and Shakti is what coming from God, Shakti. That Shakti is categorized into two categories. That is actually inferior Shakti and superior Shakti, which belongs to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because this is emanating from the Lord. This energy is coming from the Lord. So, apareyam itastannam jiva bhuta mahabaho yeyadam jarite jagat. So, it is said that Bhumi Rapo Nalovai Kamano Buddhi Revacha Ahankara Ityame Binna Prakriti. The seventh chapter Krishna is saying this earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego are my Binna Prakriti, separated energies and inferior energy. Apart from that, there is a superior energy, Jiva Bhuta Mahabaho Yeyedev Dhyarete Jagat. Apareyam Itastanyam. So there is another category of energy, that is superior energy, which is Jivatma. Jivatma is actually superior energy of the Lord. The material energy is actually inferior energy of the Lord. So both are combined now. No, like we are cooking, no, we are combining various ingredients like that. The superior energy and the inferior energy of the Lord is mixed together. According to the results of the living entity's fructifaction, he is forced to enter the material elements in different types of body. So according to our karma, whatever we did in this life, we will get accordingly next birth one more life. And whatever we did in the previous life, we got the current life. So whatever karmic we do, accordingly we get a material level. But when Krishna is coming to this material world, he is not forced like us. He is Ajopisan Avyatma Bhutanam Ishwaropisan. I mean, he is coming out of his own spiritual energy, not like he is not forced. He is coming out of his sweet will. Prabhupada is giving that example like a president of the country. He is entering into a jail. He is not under, he is entering, giving some speech in the jail to the prisoners, telling that don't do bad things, try to rectify your conduct and get released and have a good life outside the prison. So that president is coming out of his own sweet will for delivering the prisoners. Like that, Krishna is coming out of his own free will into the material world in order to give this message of Bhagavad Gita and to deliver us from this material prison. So, but we are forced by the laws of material nature. Like the government is having law, according to the law, we are put into the prison when we violate that law. So, according to the spiritual law, Krishna's whatever law, when we violate, we are put into this prison. And Krishna is coming like the president time to time to give us good counseling that this place is not a good place. See, when we see the read the news, what is happening every day, no need to even refer the scriptures. We know this is a very worst place. Nobody needs to give, like prove that this is worst place. When you take any news, you read every day what is happening in this world, we can conclude that this is a very, very nasty place. So why have we come to this nasty place? Prabhupada actually is explaining here in the second paragraph why we have come here. This time, the living entity was supposed to have been son of Maharaj Citraketu and Queen Pritadyuti, because according to the laws of nature, he has entered a body made of king and queen. So, according to the karma, this son is supposed to be destined to born as a son of Maharaj Citraketu, because maybe the Jivatma did so many pious activities. That's why he is getting a birth in a royal king family. Actually, however, he was not their son, because the living entity is the son of the Supreme Personality of God. See, this is the main point. We recited that verse, no? Like, Sarva Yonisha Kauntaya, Aham Bija Prajapita. I am the seed giving father for all living entities. Krishna is not only the father for human beings, Krishna also is the father of birds, beasts, animals, whatever living entities you see here, all actually Krishna is the supreme father. So the living entity is the son of the supreme personality of Godhead. Why he has entered this world, this nasty place? Because he wants to enjoy this material world. This is the main point you have to see. One time Prabhupada was asked actually, like Prabhupada, how we can develop in Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada given only one word reply. He told desire. If you desire to develop in Krishna consciousness, you will develop. But if you desire to enjoy this material world, you will be entangled. So the desire is the key. Faith is the foundation. Desire is the key. Because we believe, we understand that we are not this body, we are spirit soul. That is faith, based on the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. After that, we get a cultivated desire to go back to Krishna. That desire is strong, then we develop in spiritual life very fast. But the desire is there to enjoy this material world, then our track is diverted. So whoever you are seeing in this world, whether they are leading spiritual life or material life, it is based on their desire. So Prabhupada said, if you want to progress in Krishna consciousness, your desire for that should be very strong. So here, he wants to enjoy this material world, means that Jivatma desire to enjoy this material world. So according to the karma, the Jivatma is taking a specific body, either in demigod or as a human being, as a bird or a beast or animal or a plant, according to this karma. But even though we may have a parent here, father and mother, and we are also parent to our children, actually the original father is actually the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord gives him a chance to enter various bodies. So according to the enjoying propensity, there are 8,400,000 species bodies are created. Every body will offer a unique kind of enjoyment. Like, bird's body will give an enjoyment of flying in the air. Fish body will give the facility to always swim in the water. So every body has a specific facility for specific enjoyment. The Supreme Lord is giving a chance to enter various bodies. So according to the scripture, it is said that when the Jivatma falls down, he will transmigrate through the 8,400,000 species of life, and then finally he will come to the stage of human being after crossing this. So that means we already crossed all these 8,400,000. Now we are now in the form of human form of life. The living entity has no true relationship with the material body he gets from his material father and mother. So this is the fact. This is called Shastra Chakshu. We are seeing our relationship through the eyes of the scripture. The scripture says, or Krishna says, the living entity has no true relationship with material body. He gets from his material father and mother. So we may have no mother, father, sister, brother, uncle, auntie, all. But these are all temporary. When we go, then no more this relationship will be there. Next time we will take another birth and another set of uncle, auntie, brother, sister, father, mother. We will get new. So this keeps on changing. Whatever is changing, that is not true actually. Whatever does not change, that is true. Hmm? What does not change? Eternally, we are Krishna's part and parcel. Mame Mamso Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. So that is not changing. So that means that is the truth. Even after millions of years, we take maybe thousands of births, still Krishna is our father. That will not change. So that is actually the truth. Rest everything is called as relative truth. So the living entity has no true relationship with material body. He gets from his material father and mother. He is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Amevamso Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. 15.7. Chapter 15, verse number 7. But he is allowed to go through different bodies. So this is the material arrangement. Automatically it is made by the mercy of the Lord. Everything works as per the will of the Lord here. The body created by so-called father and mother actually has nothing to do with this, with its so-called creators. Therefore, the living entity flatly denied that Maharaj Citraketu and his wife were his father and mother. Because see, if the purport is not there, maybe you will not understand. Somebody reading Bhagavatam, only the translation, they do not understand why this Jivatma is speaking like that. His father Citraketu Maharaj is sitting, his mother is sitting. Why this Jivatma is telling that I am not there? Who is my father? They are not my father. Because Prabhupada has given this explanation that the actual father is the Supreme Lord. Because he is a permanent father, whereas we are having innumerable fathers at many, many lifetimes. So the Jivatma is saying this is only a temporary relationship and they are not my actual father or mother. So this is what the Jiva Uvacha. So anybody wants to add any points or any questions or comments related to today's this verse? Hare Krishna. Okay. If there are no discussion on this, then we can go to the.
We can go to the next sloka.
Prabhu, you want to say something?
No, we can go to the next sloka.
Yes, Prabhu. So this one is number 6.16.5. Anybody want to read?
Yeah.
Mataji, Prabhuji, anybody?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can I read?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Okay. 6.16.5 बन्धुज्ञात्यरि मध्यस्था मित्रो दासीन विद्विषः सर्व एव हि सर्वेषां भवन्ति क्रमशो मिथः बन्धुज्ञात्यरि मध्यस्था मित्रो दासीन विद्विषः सर्व एव हि सर्वेषां भवन्ति क्रमशो मिथः. Translation purport is divine basis. Translation. In this material world, which advances like a river that carries away the living entity, all people become friends, relatives, and enemies in due course of time. They also act neutrally, they mediate, they despise one another, and they act in many other relationships. Nonetheless, despite these various transactions, no one is permanently related. Purport. It is our practical experience in this material world that the same person who is one's friend today becomes one's enemy tomorrow. Our relationships as friends or enemies, family men or outsiders, are actually the results of our different dealings. Chitraketu Maharaja was lamenting for his son who was now dead, but he could have considered the situation otherwise. This living entity, he could have thought, was my enemy in my last life, and now, having appeared as my son, he is prematurely leaving just to give me pain and agony. Why should he not consider his dead son his former enemy and instead of lamenting be jubilant because of an enemy's death? As stated in Bhagavad Gita 3.27, Prakriti Kriyamanani Gunai Karmani Sarvashaha. Factually, everything is happening because of our association with the modes of material nature. Therefore, one who is my friend today in association with the mode of goodness may be my enemy tomorrow in association with the modes of passion and ignorance. As the modes of material nature work, in illusion, we accept others as friends, enemies, sons or fathers, in terms of the reactions of different dealings under different conditions. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mataji. So we go into the next verse actually, 6.16.5, where the Jivatma is continuing to speak. Actually, up to verse number 8, Jivatma will speak. So here we can see that the translation of this verse: in this material world, which advances like a river, that carries away the living entity. So we know the river is continuously flowing. So it will carry like that. Our life is progressing in this material world. In the course of that journey, all people become friends, relatives, and enemies in due course of time. They also act neutrally. Some people are neutral. Some become friend, some become relative, and some become enemies. Like if we analyze our life, we see that we have some friends, we have some relatives, and we also have some enemies. Sometimes they are not good with us, we are not good with them. In due course of time, and today who is today our friend, maybe he become tomorrow enemy, like that. They also act neutrally. They mediate. Mediate means they try to, between two parties when there is friction, they try to mediate and try to resolve that. They despise one another and they act in many other relationships. This is the nature of the material world. Nonetheless, despite these various transactions, no one is permanently related. See, the word permanently is very important. Why this is all not factual? Because permanently we don't have any relationship with anybody here. Even if you like a person, he is not going to be here permanently with us. Okay, and even if you dislike a person, he is also not going to be permanently with us. So either we like or dislike. There is no permanent relationship with anybody here in this material world. This is a harsh reality. And we can see Prabhupada writes a very beautiful purport. Prabhupada gives his own, like it is our practical experience in this material world that the same person who is one's friend today becomes one's enemy tomorrow. So we also see in our life, we have our friends, we have our relatives, especially within our family members also, like we have brothers, sisters. We are all having very good relationship, but all of a sudden some event happens, then there is a strain in the relationship. That's what here, who are very close to us, then they suddenly change. Because naturally this world people are more like selfish nature. As long as we give something to them, they are very good with us. The moment we stop, they are not good with us. That is a nature everywhere. And you can see like brothers who are very loving and affectionate, and when there is like the father becomes old, and when there is property say, given, then there is a dispute coming, and then they become bitter and they don't talk to each other after that lifetime. So these all things happens. This is the nature of the material world. Our relationships as friends or enemies, our family men or outsiders are actually the results of our own different dealings. Sometimes we get favorable people as our friends and relatives. That is our good karma. Sometimes we take unfavorable situation. That is our bad karma. That is how scripture says. So Chitraketu Maharaj was lamenting for his son. See, any father, when his son is passing, it is, we can read philosophy, but of course, it is, unless, as I said, unless one is very advanced in Krishna consciousness, he is definitely going to be disturbed. So Chitraketu Maharaj is also lamenting for his son, who was now dead. But he could have considered the situation otherwise. Now, seeing in the scriptural angle, we are seeing through Shastra Chakshu. What is it example? This is given, Prabhupada is writing here. Seeing through the Shastra. Physically, you are seeing, of course, he is your son, he is dead, you have to cry, you will be depressed, you will be distressed. Sometimes people go to the extent of dying along with the son, or they will commit suicide also, because they are not able to bear the separation. Now, if you see through Shastric angle, Shastra Chakshu, this living entity, Atma, he could have thought, was my enemy in my last life. See, another way of seeing this perception. Okay. He is now, if he is thinking that Jivatma, my son, he was my enemy in my last life and now have appeared as my son. He is prematurely living just to give me pain and agony. Why is he dying? So that I will get pain. Because the enemy's purpose is to give pain to us. They want to disturb us by their harsh words or by their behavior. They want to make sure that we are actually put into distress. So he can think like that also, that he was my enemy in my last life and now appeared as my son. He's prematurely living just to give me pain and agony. Why should he not? Why should he consider his dead son? Why should he not consider his dead son his former enemy? And instead of lamenting, be jubilant because of an enemy's death. So this is another perspective of seeing. Instead of lamenting, he can become jubilant by thinking that this son was previously my enemy. Anybody you see, when an enemy dies, they are not normally everybody is happy. Even in Mumbai, when the temple was there, the temple land, Jew temple land, no, that Nair was there. When he died, actually, he was giving so much troubles to the devotees and to Prabhupada also. He put so much case. He was selling the land and trying to take back the land, trying to cheat Prabhupada, trying to cheat the disciples of Prabhupada. And one day the news came to Prabhupada that Nair, after we won the case, actually, is gone. But Nair was continuously making some problem. And one day the news came that they, after winning the case after a short time, not winning the case, I think before the case only. Uh, Before the case itself, the Nair got some terrific dream. Narasimhadev appeared or something like that. He got chest pain and he died. And this message came to Prabhupada. Prabhupada clapped his hand and very happy. Normally, Prabhupada is not doing like that. But because he saw that so much pain he has given to devotees. So enemy means enemy die. People, their enemy die. They are naturally, even if they don't show outside, they are internally happy. So like that, Prabhupada is telling, why don't you think, because the soul is taking different lifetimes. Maybe last lifetime he was my enemy. And this lifetime he has come as my son. And he can be jubilant instead of lamenting. Because if you think my son, my son means then you are getting that attachment and affection. Like that, the Prabhupada is putting a proposal. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 3.27, that sloka is there. Prakriti kriyamanani gune karmani sarvasha. Very, very important sloka. Prakriti kriyamanani means everything is done by the nature. Prakriti kriyamanani. Kriyamanani means it is the activities are done under the influence of the Prakriti. Based on what factor? Gune karmani sarvasha. According to the mode, three modes of material nature. Sattoguna, Rajoguna and Tamoguna. So factually everything is happening. Suppose you have our own sister or brother, they are actually very good to us. What does that mean? Because maybe they are in Sattoguna, they are very good to you, they are dealing with you in a very affectionate way because they are mode of goodness. Suppose if they are in Rajoguna, sometimes what happens, they will try to take everything, they will become more and more selfish. And maybe your relationship will be strained. And if suppose they are in Tamoguna, same brother or sister, they do harm to you. They make sure that your life is not good because they don't want to see you progress. So like that here, prakriti kriyamanani gune karmani sarvasha means factually everything is happening by our associate because of our association with the modes of material nature. So whoever parents or children, according to their association with the modes of material nature, they are taking care of their relationships. Sometimes you see some parents are in tamoguna, both husband and wife drinking, and they're not taking care of the children properly. Parents in Sattoguna, what they train the child in spiritual Krishna consciousness or God conscious. So even the parents know the way they are upbringing their child. And if they are in Rajoguna, they train their child, in cinema, music, dance, and other things in materialistic way. So everything, if you get a parent of Sattoguna, then your life is uplifted. Rajoguna means material anchorage, material activities. Tamoguna means you are going into darkness. So parents also very important. And how do we get that parents are also associated with, even though the parents are good, basically, the parents, if they are associated with Tamoguna, that child life will be spoiled. Therefore, one who is my friend today in association with mode of goodness, may be my enemy tomorrow in association with the mode of passion. So who is we are claiming our close friend? He may be in Satoguna today, and maybe tomorrow he gets some wrong association and he goes with friend with Rajoguna and Tamoguna, then he will become our enemy. So that is all we are seeing in today's world. No? Somebody's friend today, after 1 year, they are fighting. They are no more friends. As the modes of material nature work, in illusion, we accept others as friends, enemies, and sons or fathers in terms of reactions of different dealings under the different conditions. So this is the Sastric point of view that everything is impermanent in this world. And second thing, it may change. Like what we see as a very close friend, there is no guarantee that he will be close friend up to the end of our life. No. He may be close friend or he may become our enemy also according to the association of this material nature. So that we have to understand this material world means always Sattoguna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna. And everything in this material world is influenced by these three guna, whether it is time, whether it is place. Even now we are staying in here in Kuwait. We are in Rajoguna and Tamoguna. Tomorrow we are changing our place to very quiet place in India, very sattvic place. Our spiritual life will progress more fast, more better than what we are now, because that place will also have influence, and the time also has influence. The dress we put, we wear, that also has influence. The food we take, that also has influence. And the friends we have, the more we have devotee friends, the more we can progress. And the type of friends we have, the type of music we hear, and the type of environment we are, all will influence our guna. And according to our guna only, we will act in this material world. Okay, that is actually the important thing which is Bhagavad Gita is highlighting is why we are like this, why our psychological nature is like that. It is because of our association with a particular guna. Somebody is short-tempered because he is in Rajoguna. Somebody is very calm and cool in spite of disturbing circumstances is because in Sattva. Somebody is very much undisturbed because he is in God consciousness, like that. And somebody is actually very upset, very depressed because he's in Tamoguna. So all these things, our psychological nature is actually associated because of our association with these gunas. And currently, whatever our psychological nature may be there, the more we are actually involved in Krishna consciousness, our entire subconscious mind will change. Our total psychological nature will change. That is the secret of Krishna consciousness. The more we are hearing, the more we are associating with devotees, slowly, without our knowledge, we will start changing, like to Sattva and then Shuddha Sattva. That will definitely come one day. If you are in association, we can change our subconscious mind also. So that is very important, because subconscious mind is very conscious mind. You can smile, but subconscious mind, you are a short-tempered person. Suddenly, if somebody will speak, then you will get anger. But the whole subconscious also is programmed in a sattvic way, then our nature will completely change as a very calm person. So that is possible by actually practicing this Krishna consciousness, because the impressions we are getting every day, no, you are hearing kirtan, bhajan, chanting, this all eventually will go to the subconscious mind. Then the subconscious also, all the bad things from the subconscious mind also will change. Otherwise, we are normally in the material platform, only we are acting based on these three gunas. Without our family members, relatives, friends, everybody is reacting based on the influence of the gunas. So that is the understanding here. Further, this next verse, 16.7, is very big verse. Purport is there. So maybe that can be continued tomorrow.
Yes,
And
Prabhu.
yeah, and any devotees want to discuss anything related to this or
Yeah,
any comments, please welcome. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Just Prabhu is explained yesterday. Uh, his Grace Asimananda Prabhuji explained this. Ramayana, there is a two story. Means when we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam. So just like Prabhuji explained here, we are reading by the about the Citraketu. So the danger comes, Lord comes in the form of danger. What is or danger or death? So that is in the case of Nair, means how he gave the God give this punishment. So just like that, also the association. What is the association? The important thing. So
Yes.
if we need the, we have to come to the same stage. Means the mode of goodness or Shuddha Sattva. You have to keep in the association of devotees. That is
Yes, very,
two
very,
important points by reading this. I got.
yes.
It.
Association, very, very important.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very good point. If you are very close to some temple, that is very favorable also. When you are settling back, no? So
Yeah.
that point is also very important. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Anybody else want to add any point to the discussion? Please. Okay. So there are no points. So we will resume tomorrow.
So, yeah, we
Yes.
can chant 3 times Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Prabhu. For
All
the spiritual
devotees, assembled
progression. Yeah.
devotees.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, गुरु महाराज की जय।